Hello, bonjour, Gia Huich Tanshi. My name is Danny Marie Sherwood, and I am a Master of Social Work student. I am also a filmmaker and a poet. I am coming to you from Turtle Island, north of the Medicine Line, which is colonially known as Canada. And I am a settler and an Indigenous person. So my ancestors are a mix of English, French, Irish, and Red River Métis peoples. I am on the lifelong journey of reconciling my responsibilities as both a settler of European descent as well as an Indigenous person. For me, these responsibilities overlap when it comes to decolonizing myself, as well as bringing attention to the decolonization process, and also in acting for reconciliation, which means a lot of things, but I believe most importantly, it means healing the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. And that cannot happen without land repatriations. So when we think about a new eco-social world, leaving no one behind, we of course are thinking about the land and our relationship to the land, and I believe this also means we need to be thinking about the people of the land, which are by definition Indigenous peoples. And so it is absolutely essential that we listen to Indigenous communities across the globe and allow them to guide us as we all work together collaboratively to heal Mother Earth and our relationships with each other and the earth and everything in between. So in the medicine wheel, which is a sacred symbol and concept amongst several Indigenous communities, especially here on Turtle Island, there are 4 quadrants, and these are all inextricably connected, and they include elements related to the spirit, the heart, the mind, and the body. And so when it comes to reconciliation and shaping this new eco-social world, I believe that we absolutely must begin with spirit and that sacred fire within us that leads us in this work and in this co-building process. So co-building a new eco-social world and reconciliation, which I believe absolutely must go hand in hand, it cannot be something that we just conceptualize or intellectualize alone or just think about, right? We must move and begin with the spirit and then allow that to fill our hearts, right? As we keep these concepts in mind and then act upon them through the physical material world. And so I challenge you too to center decolonization and reconciliation through this co-creation of a new eco-social world. We cannot collaboratively create a new world without also acknowledging the harms of the past and present world and taking responsibility for these. I am now residing in Chibuktuk Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded, unsurrendered territories of the Mi'kmaq Ilnu peoples, which is covered by the Peace and Friendship Treaties. And this is actually where I completed an independent study on eco-social work, which was really focused on examining social work's responsibility in responding to climate change, while also focusing on Indigenous perspectives on climate change and climate mitigation and how these overlap and how they differ. And so the video poem that I'm about to share with you all is a product of this study. And in the poem, I draw on many different scholars, different ideas from a multitude of authors, activists, writers, and academics, which include Glenn Coulthard, Kathy Absalon, Robin Wall Kimmerer, Leanne Simpson, Michael Anthony Hart, Meredith Powers, and many, many others. And I'm deeply honored and humbled to be able to share these messages with you all today.
Let us journey in communal reflection for our global collective, channeled through the beautiful landscapes of Turtle Island with a focus on Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral traditional territories, the unceded, unsurrendered lands of the Mi'kmaq peoples. Let us journey into dreams of new days, returning to old ways, a journey where we might ask, what will it take for a global heart-set shift to take a hold and stay? Whether your ancestors evolved on these lands of Mi'kma'ki, Turtle Island, or whether your ancestors come from away, or whether your spirit comes from here or there, we all have a role to play in sparking and paving the way for this heart-set shift to living in a good way. Let us begin with spirit. To walk this path, we must honor our spiritual selves, our connection to something so much greater than us as our individual self. See, the web of life, which includes us as humans as well as all our relations, the animals, the plants, the trees, the rocks, the water, and even the breeze, the sun, the moon, and even the stars are all a part of us. We are the cosmos. We are but stardust. And this web of life, all of these entities woven together, inextricably connected, interdependent on each other for survival. No, these non-human beings and the environment are not our objects, nor are they our rivals. Rather, we need them for our survival just as much as they need us, because we are one. In this way, well-being is relationship. In this way, land is also relationship. But many of us have forgotten these ways over time. Through preoccupation of time and a loss of our sense of space, we have become so caught up in an incessant chase of relentless overconsumption and limitless, often needless production, caught up in a mentality, a mindset driven by exploitation, domination. Through this preoccupation of time, we've lost our sense of humanity. So many of us take and take and take, and we forget to ask. We forget to give back. We forget to give thanks. We forget to honor the laws of nature as if somehow we are beyond her. And on this journey, here we are, entering this phase where we are given the choice to choose abundance over affluence, prosperity over scarcity, equity over austerity, faith over fatality. We are given the choice to acknowledge the harms of this colonized mindset, to surrender to a process of decolonizing the toxins we've ingested, to make amendments, to honor traditional and indigenous knowledges ready to be resurrected. We are given the choice to voice what has been silenced since this mindset first begun. So what will it take for us to make this shift from the mind to the heart? For us to dance to the beat of the drum of our collective heart once more? What will it take for us as a community to grasp this sense of unity, to walk gently on our sacred earth, to immerse ourselves in communal rebirth? First, we must grieve the loss. We must see the truths and hold responsibility for the costs incurred to others which may benefit us, for the injustices that cause harm to certain people and living beings while they may profit us. We must have the courage to own these truths with humility, to take accountability, to forgive ourselves and others so that we can love again, unconditionally, while we respect our differences and embrace our commonalities. It will take a journey to that stillness within. As we breathe deeply, as we close our eyes, as we let inner peace sink in, surrendering to the flow, moving beyond comfort zones to break free of this imposed reality, so that we can come back together, returning to the ancient wisdom that has lived within us for eternity.